Hello everyone, thanks for joining in. Today we will discuss zone-based firewall. So zone is a logical group of interfaces, and if any interfaces that are part of zones cannot talk to other interfaces that are part of different zones, right? So for today this will be our topology, and we will use R2 as zone-based firewall, and our ISP network will be in outside zone and internal network will be in inside zone, right? And here we have placed one web server that will be in DMZ zone, right? But for now, this will be our topology and we will do DMZ part later, right? Let's take the console of ISP router. Actually, we have configured the IP address already. Okay, so let me show you the IP address. Here 192.168.12.1 is configured on 0 by 0, and we have created one loopback 1.1.1.1. Okay, and we have created one static route for R4 subnet, that is 192.168.24.0, right? And next hop will be 192.168.12.2, that is configured on R2. So let's take the console of R2 router. So here we can see that 192.168.12.2 is configured on 0 by 0 and 24.2 is configured on 0 by 1 interface. So here we have added one default route towards R4, sorry, towards ISP to make reachability with loopback IP, right? So we can see here that loopback IP should be reachable. Okay, now let's move on R4. Here we can see the IP address 192.168.24.4 is configured on 0 by 1 interface, right? And here as well we have added one static route, or we can say default route for 1.1.1.1, right? So that this loopback IP is reachable from R4 router. So we can try to ping here. So we are covering here two tasks. In first task, we will do from inside to outside zone, and in second task, we will do from outside to DMZ zone communication, right? So one more thing here, in the first task, we will allow here only telnet protocol, right? So let's configure the telnet on the ISP router. So command will be line vty 0 space 4. Password will be, we can put any password, but actually I'm using the simple one, Cisco, and login. After that, transport input all, right? So we can check here, telnet protocol should work 1.1.1. So here it's working, right? So let's configure the zone pair policy part. So first we will create the zones, right? After that we'll assign the interfaces to the zones. So once we'll assign the interfaces inside the zones, so our router R2 will behave as zone based firewall, right? So let's create the zones first. So here command is zone security outside, and the second zone that we need is inside, right? After that we will call the interfaces inside the zones. So fast ethernet 0 by 0 will be in outside zones. So the command is zone member security outside. So guys, one thing we need to keep in mind that during creation we used the small cases, right? So the small case outside will be used here. If we will try to use uppercase, then it will not take, right? So we need to keep in mind that part. Okay, and interface 0 by 1 will be in inside zone. So we can verify here. So zone security command. So interface 0 by 0 is the part of outside zone, and 0 by 1 is inside zone, right? So our last part is zone pair policy part. So let's understand that part. So actually this is a three-step process, right? First we will create a class map to classify the traffic, and second part will be policy map. With the help of that, we will do, or we can say we will specify the traffic, right? Or we can specify the action. And our third part will be zone pair policy. So actually this is a three-step process, as I said, and this action is going to inspect the traffic, right? So that return traffic is allowed. So as we know that pair means two, so it's a directional, right? Directional means it's going to have an action of inspect, and based on that, return traffic will be allowed, right? And it will create a stateful inspection in connection table. So I will show you that part in the practical. So let's configure first class map. So command will be class map type inspect. So we can give any name. I'm just giving the name I-O. Okay, and I'm allowing only telnet protocol, right? So after that we will create a policy map. Type will be here inspect, and we have to give one name. So I'm just giving the name pmap hyphen I hyphen O, because we are going from inside to outside zone, right? After that we will call our class map that we have created here, and one inspect keyword will be used, right? Because it will inspect the traffic, right? After that we will create here zone pair policy, and the command is zone pair security. We have to give one name for zone pair, so I'm just giving the name I-O. Okay, and here source will be inside and destination will be outside, right? After that we will call here our policy map with the command service policy, and then type inspect and our policy map, right? So this is the total command for a zone pair policy creation. Now we will check the output here. So we will see here ping will not work because we have allowed only telnet protocol. Now we will try to telnet. Here source will be interface fast ethernet 0 by 1, right? So see here telnet is working. So we can see here output. The command is so policy map type inspect and zone pair. The name we have given for zone pair is I-O and then session, right? So here we can see that only telnet is matching and the ping we have tried that is dropped, right? Now we will do our different task, or we can say another task from outside to DMZ, right? And this task we will do on the basis of IP address. So let's modify our diagram here. Let me stop all these routers, and we will use this router as a web server, right? And this network will be in DMZ zone, and subnet we are using the same, right? So we'll start once again. We'll take the console. Actually, here in this scenario, we will allow only ICMP, right? And automatically all the protocol will be dropped. So what we will do here, we will enable telnet here for web server, right? So let's enable that first. Let me remove all these things. Okay, so IP address is already there, no need to configure again, right? By default, everything should be reachable. So we can try to ping here the ISP loopback IP because nothing is configured related to June pair, right? So here we will configure the telnet line VTY 0 space 4, and then password will be same. I'm using Cisco login and transport. After that, input all, right? Here actually we can try to telnet here 192.168.24.4. See here telnet is working, right? So let's enable the zone part. First we'll have to create the zone uh, outside and DMG that we created earlier, right? Outside is created. Now DMG. Now we will call the interfaces inside DMG. So interface path Ethernet 0 by 0 will be in outside zone, right? And interface 0 by 1 will be in DMG zone, right? But before that, we discussed that we will do this part on the basis of IP address, right? So we will create here one access list that will be the extended one so that we can mention here IP protocol and source and destination, everything, right? So here 111. After that, permit protocol will be IP and source will be any, and destination will be 192.168.24.4. That is our web server, right? So here now we will configure our class map, type, inspect. We can give class map name. We are going from outside to DMC, match protocol ICMP, and match our access group 111, right? After that, we'll create our policy map, type, inspect, and then we can give name O-D because we are going from outside to DMG, right? And then we'll call our class map that we created here. After that, one inspect keyword to be used, right? After that, we will configure our zone pair part, zone pair security. We'll have to give one name. So we are giving O-D, right? And our source will be outside and destination will be DMG, right? Now here we will call our policy map with the command service policy, type inspect, and our policy map name is O-D, right? Now our configuration part is completed. Let's do the test now. So this is our outside network. We'll try to telnet. So here we'll not able to telnet the IP, right? Because only we have allowed the ICMP. So see here telnet is not working. But when we will try to ping 192.168.24.4, then it should be pingable, right? If we will try from 111, then let's see the output, right, on the R2 router. So the command as we have discussed, so policy map, type, inspect, right? After that, zone pair, and the name we have given for zone pair is O-D and session, right? So here we can see that two packets was dropped for telnet, but yeah, only ICMP packet is allowed, right? So that was the topic of zone pair. So I hope guys we have learned something new. Till the next video, I'm signing off. Take care.